gonna start at around 10:02 or whenever Casey give the signal, then we can actually start
Yeah,
the
it's
the
almost there lah. Guys, do you have a roof at your house that you can put a solar panel? Type one if yes, or if you have more than one roof, then you can type more than that. Or if
uh
you don't, then press zero. If you live in condo, then you cannot put right? Okay, the roof is not yours.
mm,
Okay,
true.
okay, let's see.
I
Nice.
see, I see.
Got
Good,
some.
good.
Okay, we're live on YouTube, so
YouTube.
let's do this. Yes.
Oh, is it on recording mode
Yeah.
or
Okay,
recording?
let's no, let me press record. Three, two, one.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our regular 1 hour live webinar session brought to you by kclaw.com. So today we're going to talk about solar panel systems. And to do this, we have brought in an expert. And this guy has been in the solar panel industry for, I would say, 6 years. Because 6 years is when actually Verdant Solar started. At least that's what I read in the prospectus. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Verdant Solar is a company that is started in 2019, and that's when I believe Wang, our external speaker for today, he joined the company. And right now, Verdant Solar is this month is actually a very important month for Verdant Solar because it's an IPO month for them. So congrats to them. And but today we're not talking about Verdant Solar, the company, but we're going to talk about how we can save electricity bills with solar panel systems. And of course, throughout this decade, there are a lot of developments going for solar panel systems. So one will give us a brief on the history, the present, and as well as the future of these solar panel systems, and as well as its technology lah. All right. And so Wang is actually a business development manager uh, at Verdant Solar. So he started off as a sales rep, sales consultant. Slowly, he actually climbed his way up to business development manager. So right now he has quite an extensive portfolio. I believe he has residential clients, commercial clients, industrial clients. Um, I'll leave I'll leave Wang to actually tell more about this, all right, very soon. But before I pass the control to Wang, two households to begin with. Number one, if you have any comments along the way, just feel free to type in your comments in the chat box. And if you have any questions, you don't need to wait until the end of this webinar session. Just feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A box, and I will be moderating the Q&A session right after this webinar presentation. Casey will be joining in as an active panelist. All right, so without further ado, time for me to warmly welcome our external speaker for today, Mr. Wang. Wang, welcome back to our show.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Ian, for having me here back. And thank you for all the audience today to be here, friends and all invited, like all guests here. So I want to thank you, Casey, for having me again back here to share. I think the last time I came here was like years ago, or I can't really call it. So I came here a few
My
times, yeah,
my
even during
pleasure, my
MCO as
pleasure.
well. Okay. So let me share my screen, yeah, without much ado. Share. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, it's coming up. Yes.
All right. Okay. So because I may need to on my pointer, let me find my pointer. Okay. Thanks again, Ian, for welcoming with that really warm welcoming.
Hmm.
Good morning, guys. My name is Wang. So it's my honor to be here as well today. So I hope that today I'm able to share some things that you guys may find it informative, useful, or even this that eventually help you to save money, like what Casey Lau help you, money tips on, saving. So my name is Wang. Without short ado, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wang. Yeah, in Malay means money lah. So basically, I'm the BD manager now with Verdant Solar. Yeah, like what Ian shared, this month October marks another milestone for our company that we are fortunate, to be listed on Malaysia ACE market on the 22nd of October. Yeah, I hope that everything was well. So, but that's not the focus today. Today, the focus is definitely to share about the topics about how's the solar in Malaysia, and actually more information about TMB, the way electrical bills were calculated. Because in order for us to consult our clients all the years on the saving of electricity, we need to know how actually TMB charge the bill, and then how the electricity billings works in Malaysia. So that's kind of like our groundworks for to serve our clients. So today I may share more as well, because in conjunction of a tariff change in July as well, which I find it is going to be informative and helpful. Maybe some of our audience may even already know about this, but to put in practice, I hope that let's try. You guys can really work it out. So before I start into the content, allow me to share about my team. So this is our team at the moment. This photo was taken in conjunction with the Malaysia Board of Records that we received early of this year. So it was our third time to be crowned as as the installer or the solar provider who install most projects within the year. And then, of course, we are a company with more than 12 years of collected experience. And then we have some big and small national award certifications. And then overall, throughout, now it's just still Peninsula Malaysia, not yet travel or expand to Sabah and Sarawak yet, hopefully in the near future. So now we have more than 7,000 happy client customers as well. Additions of residential clients and also commercial clients. All right. So that's what about Burden all about. So we are in the residential markets. We are, I would say, famous for residential market because we pivoted our business years ago to focus on residential clients, where this business segment has been, I would say, not the active or popular segments that normally solar providers or solar solutions installer will focus on. And we saw the needs, we saw the potential for client. That's why we pivoted the business, and that's how we become a bit slightly famous in the market for residential market, where we aim to provide ultimate peace of mind for our clients. So yeah, these were some of our past photos, and we serve different projects, different sizes of residential projects. Some of the big smiles that we were able to help to put on our clients, not just saving on their bills, but also to provide a years, because we believe that once we close the deal, that's where the relationship starts. So that's how it works for companies, residential. So we are also fortunate that able to lead the residential market quite actively, and eventually we now are expanding more actively and more resources back into commercial and industrial segment as well, and see how much further we can achieve. And there's always a motto that we hope we can help businesses, which is to help businesses owner to take calculated risks and make informed decision. So because we leverage on sun, we never know how's the sun irradiance or what's the generation be like. So we always let client know what were the history based on backed by data, and then what's the potential saving that you can really have realistically. All right. So these are some of our clients: hospital, some traditional business, trading and renting forklift. We even provide solutions for some of petrol kiosks, automotive parts supplier, warehouses. Yeah, this is Bursa listed warehouses. I think you guys will know the biggest retails in Malaysia, the warehouse. And then F&B manufacturers, plastic manufacturers. So yeah, these are just parts of our plans that I just want to share for you guys to know us better. So back to the focus of today. So that's what I'm here for, is to share about the solar in Malaysia. So mainly we'll talk about, after I discussed with Ian, and we're thinking, maybe this round we should share something slightly different, because it has been quite a few years. Maybe we talk about what has changed in the whole perspective for solar. What were the policy implemented over the years, and what's next for us? What are the new things in the market, like technologies, the trend? And then, of course, last but not least, will be something that is happening that it may affect consumer, all of us, house owner, now, and maybe what will happen in the future that maybe you can look out or prepare for. All right. So first, definitely talking about the transitions of Malaysia solar, right? To be honest, Malaysia was even crowned as one of the best country doing in solar. Trust me, our policies, our net energy metering policies, our FIT were taken as a reference for other countries to develop their policy as well. So there were a few countries doing different policy before us, but our policies were the one that really helped the country to pick up the tractions of adopting solar. So initially, government started with a policy we call fit-in tariff. Fit, yeah, very fit. So it's as how literally it sounds. Fit-in, it means that if today you have a house or factories, for example, factories. So if you install a solar panel, your electricity from the solar will be solely export back to the grid, and then you will use all your consumption from TNB. That was I would say, the first chapter for the solar industry in Malaysia. You need to sell everything back to TNB, and then you need to use exactly everything from TNB as well. That was how the chapter started. Yeah, it was very tough. It was very tough. We were going around factories, houses, telling properties owners that, you can sell to TNB. TNB will actually pay you. They even, come up with show a receipts or like the transaction proof that you will get two bills. That time, those owners who subscribe for FIT, monthly, even up to today, they will get two TNB bills. One bill is they pay how much to TNB. Second bill is TNB pay how much to them for that month. So that was the first chapter. Yeah, just to let you guys know. So if any of you were asking, hey Wang, so wow, FIT, wow, if I back 10 years ago, I think I'll start on this, But it was not easy by then. Consumers were not very educated. Solar was like pretty new. Like it's like a new thing for Malaysian, especially Malaysian. So that was how. But today, FIT is still available in the market, but not for solar. So let's say you own a land, you have maybe a reservoir, a waterfall that you are allowed to build some, hydro, biomass, or different types of renewables. You can actually apply for FIT as well. It means that you still can generate renewable energy, sell back to TNB, and then they bind you for a certain contract period and pay you at a fixed rate. All right. So that was the first policy, chapter 1. Chapter 2 was net energy metering. So net energy metering was one of the chapter that really gained popular, and actually I would say it's one of the milestones or maybe the cornerstone that really helped to build the whole solar industry. So how it works is, initially, actually, I didn't mention this here, but actually it started with we call NEM 1.0. So the NEM 1.0 is, to be honest, there were not much documented or recorded policy online. So I was a bit difficult to track and show you guys here. But how it works is, you use the solar on your own, and you can sell back the surplus back to TNB. Just that the offset will be offset at the lower tariff of your TNB bills. It means that for residential, we used to have tariff from the cheapest 20 cents until 50 cents. So TNB will offset at the cheaper one. So to be honest, as an owner, I'll reluctantly subscribe for that. So that's how it works out. So NEM 1.0, it started, gained some tractions, but it was not very warmly welcomed by the market. So eventually, before the policies open periods close, the government do some revamp on that, and then they revise the offset, and then we call the NEM 2.0. Yeah, so how NEM 2.0 works is, excess energy, it will be offset on a one-on-one basis. Yeah, so regardless of domestic, commercial, industrial, or any agricultural tariff, you have surplus, sell back TNB, TNB offset one-to-one for you. So that's where the whole policy really take off. To us, took off significantly for the market subscription. So eventually, NEM 2.0 was very popular, oversubscribed, and even it closed down with the quota fully subscribed. Consumer were still asking, hey, when will NM come back? Is government going to release a new policy? So yes, government responded with another new policy with extensive quota as well. But that time government did some change, or say revision on the clauses. The offset for the commercial properties, it will be offset at the fluctuating rates, where the rates fluctuate from month to month. While for residential wise, there's a limitation on the system size installable. Yeah, it means for NEM 2.0, no capping on the system size. NEM 3.0, for your house, residential property, there's a cap on the size installable. That's for residential part. For commercial part, you can install up to a certain capping as well. And your saving, your offset, any surplus you sell back to TNB or export back to TNB, it won't be one to one, but it will be decided by we call a SMP, system marginal price, where it fluctuates from month to month. It's kind of like TNB will buy back at the rate lower than the rate that you pay to them, and the rates fluctuate from month to month. That's how NEM 3.0 be like lah. So 3.0 is actually I would say it closed for application at the end of June 2025, and up to today, even though government announced a new policy we call ATAP. Yeah. But for ATAP, because there's no details or there's no consolidated guidelines being announced yet. So I wouldn't mention here, lah, but we will definitely, if we have the chance to share when the policy is back, we definitely share again in details. Up to today, the policy, I would say the way that consumers or owners, they still go for solar. How does it work is we go for just a simple mechanism we call self-consumption, selco. There is no any policy in practice, just how the way we install and how the way we consume the solar energy. So how it works is there might be a bit quite a lengthy text here, but technically we still like NEM, net energy metering, we consume our solar energy as a priority. Any of the surplus, owner of a residential property or a commercial property, you can decide whether you want to store with batteries or you don't want to, because batteries will incur capex. And then you will need to maintain that capex, and maybe eventually after 10, 15 years, battery will, degenerate in the capacity as well. So you may need to change or you may need to top up. So it depends on what's client's preference. Some they prefer, hey, one, I don't mind to have a smaller systems as long as there's insignificant amount of surplus. I don't want to have batteries. I just, use on my own. Any overflow or oversupply solar energy, I don't mind to, I take it as I would call it like a wastage or non-inverted energy. And then some clients, they will mention, hey, Wang, I have a certain budget for my capex. Let's try. See whether you can help me to maximize my saving and try to prevent wastage for my solar systems. Then we will go with batteries. So technical wise, everything's are doable. So this is what we are having now at the moment. Yeah. All right. So that's how it works. So throughout the years, right? Definitely for all this, I would call this definitely a trend, a very successful transformation or transitions in renewable energies. And the credits, it's just not related, not just limited to installer like us or even consumers who uptake. So we want to give a very high credits to the authorities, especially the government related authorities like SEDA, the one who really govern the policy, and then to approve all the application, making sure all the designs are in place, and ST, Suruhanjaya Tenaga, our energy commission, and definitely TNB as well, who involved in the grid changing of TNB meter over the years. So it's definitely a superior or impressive work by all authorities to really get the ball rolling. All right. So that's kind of like the past and what's happening for solar industry and how solar solutions are being adopted in residential market and commercial market as well. So all this I will share is mainly what I share is mainly revolve around sorry, revolve around rooftop. And then because we are the rooftop specialists, yeah. So next is I hope previous the sharing is informative for you guys to know that's kind of like A to Z of
Mm.
Malaysia. Yeah, about the policy.
So that
So
means that
that's
right now, consumer what they can choose is that they just install, and mainly the solar is going to fit their own usage. And
correct.
then if there's excess, you cannot actually sell it, but you can store
Yes,
it. But that will involve battery, so that will involve, so whether the battery is worth it or not, then depends on how much surplus you have.
correct.
So yeah, so basically, you guys are consulting your customer about this, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, Casey.
okay. Nice. Okay, let's
So
move to the next
that's the
section, I
trend.
guess. Hmm.
Can okay. I hope previous sharing was not too heavy, but the next one I definitely will share two. I would say two of the latest trends and technologies. It's more like what the futures upholds for solar industries. So first is definitely maybe some of our audience may heard about that before. It's actually a breakthrough technology for solar panels. So because solar panel efficiency has been kept at somewhere around 20+% to slightly less than 25 for quite a few years already. I would say maybe by at least for 5 years, it's around there, the percentage. But there's a breakthrough technology we call perovskite, but it's not commercialized yet. So in the news, you even saw some breakthrough news like early of this year to mid of this year. From 20+%, it was able to achieve an additional near more than 10% of efficiency. That's a lot. That's a lot. It means that maybe initially I need 20 panels. So to achieve the same generation, maybe now I can have 5 or 6 panel less or even less than that. Yeah. So that's how this is one of the technologies upcoming. The reason that it's not commercialized yet, one of it is definitely the stability of the technology, and then the life shelf of the shelf life of the panel as well. Yeah, because it comprises of more organic compounds, which production wise, eventually we believe that it may draw down the cost, but there's a challenge on the stability of the technology as well. So first is definitely the perovskite. From our perspective, we definitely hope that this technology is able to break through. And we even check out with our manufacturers, maybe it might stabilize within 5 to 10 years time, but it really depends. Maybe eventually there's another breakthrough on other technology. We are not sure about that, but that's one of the technology for solar panel, just the panels alone, that is rising up for our industry. So overall, there are even some scientific papers that my team prepared for me to share. So you can look up for, there are papers in the net. If you are from science background or technology, technical, you can really look up for the papers. And then besides the panels, right? Energy storage is definitely one of the trend. I would say going through the whole worldwide is a trend. So how the panels, the power from solar energy is being stored, and because nowadays, right, you can decide. It's not like the old times that you just install the batteries and then the batteries will be charged and discharged forcefully or manually without any control. Nowadays, with the smart system or the setting with comprise of PV system together with your solar inverter, you can actually smart enough that you can set what time to charge your batteries with what source of electricity. I want to charge it with solar. I want to charge it with TNB. Or in the States they even have, yeah, I think in Malaysia as well, you can even take your EV as a battery to store the energy as well, where you can discharge back to your home during like
Ooh.
blackout. Yeah, so all these are one of the, I would say, a trendy breakthrough is all related to batteries alone. Yeah, the storage, I would say energy storage. Yeah. So that's how it works. It's very smart already. All these technologies are already available in the market. You can really decide because I'll share this about this more later. For TNB, how they build us, right? They actually have a special I would say mechanism that you can register or subscribe for, which is the TOU, time of use. So different tariff charge or the rate at the different hours differ from their peak hours, their off-peak hours. So you can also decide that, okay, I only want my batteries to be charged by solar during the peak hours so that I can maximize my solar PV. Or maybe during off-peak hours when the TNB tariff is cheaper, I want it to be charged only by TNB electricity. So you can really decide on that. So that's another trend. Batteries is a lot to cover, but I'll provide it's more like a eager point of perspective that you guys can view on it. And then that's more on consumer side. From government side, one of it is definitely when we talk about energy storage, right? It's just not restricted at maybe we think about energy storage. The first impression is like, with batteries. I need to have a lot of batteries. No, energy exists in different ways. Potential energy by just raising water, pumping from a higher land, or maybe discharging water from a water dam down to a lower storage area. We can earn a differential profit for the energy company as well. So that's one of it that yeah, this is definitely from Tasmania, Australia, and China, US, Malaysia governments are also looking at it. It means that I will use the cheaper tariff at the off-peak to pump the water from a lower ground to a higher ground. And then during a peak hours where I want to sell my electricity, I will discharge my water slowly at the peak hours so that I can sell back to TNB at a higher rate. So that's one of it it exists as a business as well in Tasmania. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So these are kind of like the two trends, panels and the storage. All right. So back to all right. Previous tools are more like a historical informations and what's the upcoming trend on for the whole industry. So the potential changes to TNB billing mechanism, and I also want to share how we could adopt to it. So for first one is mainly is to refers to residential owners or we call domestic low voltage. So for that's a additional this can be a bit technical, or if you have your TNB views, you can always bring alongside with you and you match with it. I will show you some sample as well that what's the changes that government may adopt but not implemented yet. This is to act as a change advice what government may charge differently for residential property. This is actually an email that I believe a lot of DNB consumer receive somewhere in early of July. So it's from DNB that they kind of like because we revised our tariff since July. So government or DNB sent out an email to inform all the consumer about all the changes. And then one of it is definitely mentioned about TOU, which I'm gonna share later. So TOU stands time of use. There will be just two classification. Either the tariff is a peak tariff, peak period tariff, or it's a off-peak period tariff. So it range from if we're looking at weekdays, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. of the same day is considered peak. 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Any hours out of that is off peak. That's as simple as that. Yeah, actually, time of use, this peak and off peak hours period actually is already applicable for commercial accounts, DNB accounts for years already. Just that with the change of this new tariff, government make an offer that even for residential, we can also adopt the TOU scheme. Yeah, all right. So we're talking about what government may implement in the upcoming years, or I'm not sure about that, whether government will implement or not, but referring to our neighboring countries, for Malaysia, it's quite straightforward that we are charged by our energy consumed, or we call energy charge. 1 kilowatt hour, how many cents that government will charge. So there's another two things that we call capacity charge and network charge. The actual implementation by TNB since July to August, actually this was based on kilowatt hour. So, but from our perspective, if I'm an energy supplier or electricity company like TNB, capacity charge and network charge, we may charge based on kW. Yeah, so this is a part where this will make a difference. All the while, as a house owner, right? How do we pay our bill? We pay based on the kilowatt hour or the volume of electricity that we use. But after that, maybe in the future, we are not sure, just the projections, because other countries already implemented. The electricity company may charge according to the power needed by your house. It means that maybe I'm not using a lot of electricity in volume, but I need a very high power supply from TNB, a higher supply. So for example, I need to charge my electric cars and maybe I'm using more energy demanding electrical appliances. So you will even like for example, if me and Ian, both of us consume 1000 kilowatt hour of electricity for each of our house. But maybe for my house, I have a more electricity demanding electrical appliances, then I may pay higher capacity charge and network charge. for my house. It can be quite significant, like maybe additional 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit per month, which is significant for residential bills. So this is one of the potential that maybe in the future government may adopt. We are not sure about that. And then the easiest way to look at it is definitely this is a trend. You need to, as a consumer, government and TMB together are building awareness. As a consumer as well, we have the responsibility that when we source for electrical appliances, try to look for high energy rating, even though the cost will be only high during the, when you procure or you're buying it. But eventually, the bills that you're paying for, the consumption, the energy, everything consumed is actually will bring you to a higher, I say, money that you're gonna pay. Yeah, you pay less money and it's more worthwhile for your investment as well. Yeah, but at the moment I don't have the data because this is just like a sharing what may happen in future. So that if you just bought a new house, you're thinking that, hey, I want to save by getting a 800 to 900 ringgit AC with just 1 to 2 star, or I want to, get 1,005 ringgit air conditioner with 5 stars. So you can really prepare for that. Yeah. So that was the first one. Government may charge additional charge based on capacity and also network charge, both. And then the second one is we call kVARH, which is kilovolt ampere reactive hour. So you can forget all these technical terms. Okay, I share a more layman term is if today we go for A&W for RB drink, all right, root beer drink. So basically what it means for the kVARH, it refers to if I paying for a RB drink, actually I'm paying for the foam as well. Because the whole cup is the whole mug is just not the drinks itself. There's a home foam as well. So actually in Malaysia, right, we just pay for kilowatt hour. So which is we will call this usable or real power that we are paying to TNB. So for TNB to supply to us for our house or factories to operate, right, there's actually I would say there's reactive power. From our technical term is we call reactive power, or you can look it as a wastage. So technically, the wastage wasn't calculated or tabulated as a charge to Malaysian accounts yet at the moment. So in future, whether TNB will, implement it as a new building system, we are not sure about that. But there are countries that are paying for the kVARH. It means that if you have because if today, again, I'll take Ian as an example. So Ian and me, we have similar design of home. We operate exactly the same consumption needed. But for example, if the air conditioner of mine 1 horsepower is like a very old models, while EN models are much newer, and then it's an inverter type of air conditioner, and my wastage of my air conditioner might be higher. So I need to pay for that wastage as well. So that's might be the one of the trend for the upcoming as well. All right. So I hope it helps. Not too lengthy. What do you think, Ian? You want me to continue? This will be kind of the last session. So, or we want to do some Q&A or just continue? What do you think?
Continue.
Okay, just continue. All right. So this will be previous one is more like an informative and futuristic saving. So what may happen? So talking about okay, one. So what can we actually do, to save our electricity bill or anything that we can change to, at least we pay less on our electricity. So definitely, okay, maybe I'll definitely say, okay, you can definitely consider solar, but how about without solars? Can we do something else without incurring a capex on solar? Yes, there are definitely some tips that you can go for it. Mainly, it will revolve around two elements I will share. First is we call automatic fuel adjustment. It's actually refers to there's actually a charge in your TNB bill, which I'll show later, where TNB are allowed to it act as like a when there's a cost of the fossil fuel and the forex fluctuations affected the profitability of TNB too much, or because once TNB is not making the margins, actually our energy supply system will fail for the whole nation. So TNB must have at least a a feasible profit to maintain to really run the whole country's electricity. So there's a AFA because we don't have our own fossil fuel source. We procure the natural gas. Majority now is from natural gas and coal. So fossil fuel from any of the countries. What if the cost increase and for forex contribute to a higher cost? Actually, TNB has the right to impose a higher AFA on the consumer. Yeah, it goes the same as well. What if the fossil fuel cost and forex reduce, right? As a consumer, we will enjoy discounts from. So of course, some consumer will ask, hey Wang, can we really give discount on electricity bill or not? Later I'll show you some proof. So it's on a monthly basis, this AFA thing. So this is for residential. If you are a commercial owner, for example, if you because we will know the AFA, the fuel adjustment or the price adjustment for the next month by the end of this month. So technically, we know already next month, will there be any additional discount or additional charges imposed for the next month's consumption? So as a business owner, maybe you can plan your capacity of manufacturing based on your orders as well. If next month is, a lot of discount were given under the AFA, maybe you can you can supply or manufacture more products just to prepare as a stocks as a lower cost. So yeah, so it's mentioned by, I make a screenshot for you guys. So it's mentioned that mainly it's based on cost bahan api and also the forex. So these are the two things that will adjust, decide whether AFA will adjust, and it's from the edge on the 29th of September. Yeah, it even mentioned that cheaper power tariff in October due to a lower AFA. Also is memang solid lah. AFA is exists to really act as a very, I would say, dual. It's kind of like a counterbalance the market, not to eat into, causing a big loss for TNB, and then at the same time to be fair for the consumer also, to enjoy a very competitive electricity tariff. That's AFA. So for time of use, mentioned earlier as well, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., technically is off peak. Afternoon 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. of the night of the same day, it will consider peak. So at this period of time, TNB will charge us more. At this period of time, the tariff will be lower. So there are basically two types of accounts, which I believe most of us are in general. And then you can apply, you either continue to use general type of tariff, or you can apply for TOU, special tariff. So for residential clients, I would strongly encourage that you can try out to apply for TOU. How to change or apply to TOU? Very easy. You just go Google, or if you're more on the physical type of visitation preferred, you can go to any Kedai TNB or TNB branch near to you lah. Then you ask, hey, can I change my house general tariff to TOU? At least if once you swap or you subscribe to it, you try for 1 month, and then you see how did your TNB bills fluctuate. Yeah, so for now, TNB offer for any consumer you can apply anytime. I think the effective of the mechanism is quite fast, and then you can decide whether you want to unsubscribe or monitor for 1-2 months. TOU like ended up with higher charges, slightly higher charges. I want to unsubscribe. You can always unsubscribe very, very easily. Even through my TNB app, you can do that as well. All right. So definitely for residential clients, maybe you're thinking, hey, one was saying to save the electricity bill, go solar, generate your own electricity. What is the capex too high? Try to change your TOU first. Yeah. And then you observe, because if you're looking back the graph, right, the hours that most residential consumer consume their electricity, same for me. I reach home by the time after work on weekdays, yeah, it's around 6, 7, or even sometimes 8, 9. So that's the hours very near to off peak already. Maybe I just use a very minor part of peak hours, and then the rest until tomorrow 2 p.m. is actually off peak. So once you change this, you should see some reductions of electricity bill. But in the end, it depends on your consumption pattern as well. Maybe you're away, you have a few robotics, vacuum cleaners running around, water pump for your koi fish farm. So it depends on your consumption pattern. But the first one for residential owners here, or any KC Lounge fans here, or guests, you can try to apply for TOU first. How? Google for it, how to change TOU residential, or you go to the nearest Kedai Tenaga branch. So that's one of her suggestions. So this is an actual case that I can show you. It's one of our existing clients, solar clients. So from our side, as a Verdant Solar company, we do really emphasize on servicings. So even though client after they install solar system, right, our service don't only stops there. We provide further consultation. After solar, this is one of our clients. The bill before installations was quite high, slightly more than 2K. And then after installation, it brought down to 1K plus. And then the owners are like, hey, Wang, they did it on the NEM 3.0 time, where there's a capping on the system size. So they still ask, hey, Wang, can we enjoy more saving or not? Then our advice is to try to subscribe for TOU. So from July was the new tariff. And then in August, end of August, they subscribe for the TOU. So in September, the bill slightly go down a bit. I also extracted some of the info for you to have a look in August. Of course, the consumption also dropped, to be fair. It dropped from 2002 to around 1007 kilowatt hour lah. So the consumption dropped a bit, and then the bill value also dropped a bit. But if I look back in a proportional way, taking a ratio, actually the bill amount also dropped. In ringgit also dropped. Yeah, so you wouldn't expect like, wow, from 1000 straight down to 500. It won't be that reduction, but you may see like maybe 100 ringgit or slightly plus minus savings from there, which is just a subscription. It's very easy. All right, so that's the easy. So some of the example, exactly the same account as well from the client. After you install, right? After you subscribe for the TOU, then you'll see something like Puncak and Loa Puncak. This is a special type of, I mean, you subscribe to TOU, then only you'll see this. When you use out of the Puncak, you will pay at the lower rate. When you use at the Puncak, which is the peak, and then you'll pay a more expensive rate. Yeah, you even mentioned the rates at here. Yeah, peak is 38.52 cents. Non-peak is 34.43. Yeah. And then, all right, TOU is, I definitely encourage all residential owners to subscribe for that. Let's try it out, have a look. But if your saving didn't improve, you don't scold me. Just a suggestion. You really need to try it out, then only you will know. And then the second one is just now I mentioned about AFA, right? The fluctuating costs where based on based on the Forex and fossil fuel costs. So AFA, starting 1st of September, TNB is really giving us back some rebate. Even though it's not much, 1.1 cent per kilowatt hour, but it really provide us some discounts on our electricity tariff. So these are the two things that we as a smart consumers, like all the audience here, we can play around because technically we have zero capex on this change, and then you can measure the value how it goes around. All right. So this is something that you can try it out.
Hey, Wang, just now
So
you said the
yeah,
AFA, right?
okay.
So this is the September bill. So they show you the AFA that you save, right?
Yes.
So then just now you also mentioned that you actually know the AFA for the following month. So in this bill, can
Yes.
we see like what is going to happen in October?
For October, wait, let me see. No, you can't see in the bill.
Oh, you cannot
But
see.
there's
Oh,
a
okay.
website. Yeah, there's a
Oh, okay.
website that you can go for, which actually is at the TNB website. Maybe later I can
So it's a
share the
public
link as well.
information, right? Ah, I
It's
see.
a public
Okay.
information. Yeah,
Okay.
you can search for Google like AFA TNB, and then you will arrive at there's a page that announce on the rate.
Ah, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
but normally
Okay, later you show
there
it to us. Yeah.
there'll be a projections as well. Like TNB will say, okay, for the coming quarters, what is the projections? It will go up
Mm.
or go down because it's kind of like it's not like from nothing TNB predict it. It's actually on the trailing part. It means the AFA that I charge for next month is based on my cost and forex for this month. So
Mm.
that's how it works out. It's not that TNB is able to predict what they're gonna have for their costs and charges for next month. No, they're
Mm.
actually kind of like a delay. You will say a lagging type of metrics. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So last but not least, my last few slides, commercial and industrial clients, what you can really do is we noticed that for some of the factories or offices, if you purchase a big factories or a semi-D, type of factories, you need to check on your voltage, because now government make the tariff of the rates that you are paying as a commercial or industrial consumer. It's very transparent, and I would say it's very literally very easy to calculate. Basically, it's solely split into low voltage, medium voltage, and also high voltage. So you need to check for your bill, right? If you don't really have a high power demand, sorry about that. If you don't really have a high power demand, you can lower down your voltage. Of course, you can check with us. We can help you to check on that whether a low voltage can manage to supply to your building or not. Or you want to go for medium voltage and whether it will help you to save your bucks or not. So we have that information and calculation ready lah. Yeah. So for example, we help one. They were not our clients initially, so they reached out to us and then yeah they have a challenge. They were thinking, hey, we rented these factories from a owner and eventually we bought it over. The factory was having a medium voltage, which is a higher TMB supply. So their board of directors were thinking, hey, okay, Wang, we know solar is something that we can consider. Do you think that we need to, appeal to TMB or apply to TMB to lower our power supply? Because by having a higher voltage supply, we need to pay more in deposit, and then the tariff rates also different. So can we get back? Because the deposit is not cheap. From low voltage to medium voltage, right? It's easily additional six figures of deposit you need to pay. Yeah, so that's one of the value that I would definitely encourage commercial and industrial owners or friends here. You can look into your voltage or your supply, TMB supply, whether it really fit your current consumption or needs, or you can foresee lah, let's say 3 to 5 years, if I have expansion of my production line or my offices, do I need that much of electricity? If not, then you can consider to revise and we can help to provide you a projections, whether after revision your bill will drop with a similar consumption pattern or not. All right. So that's some of consultation that we give to our client. We're checking they're having medium voltage and then we try to do a projection for them. If they change to low voltage, which within their consumption needs, how much their bills will be changing. Yeah. And then yep. Definitely last but not least, if a commercial clients they subscribe or adopt solar energy, you can go for capital allowance and also green investment tax allowance. So capital allowance, let's say your tax bracket is 24%. Literally, if you invest, let's say we take a ballpark figure, 1 million solar projects, 24%, you kind of like can claim it through your capital allowance throughout the 6 years. And then green investment tax allowance, it will allow approval of max 60% of the solar capex. For example, if the capex for solar is 1 million, 24% you kind of like can get back eventually through CA, capital allowance, and then another around 18%, around 14% additional you can get back from JITA. So if both of these are applicable, if you invest a 1 million solar projects, theoretically around 380K act as a discount already. So it's really bring down and shorten your capex, your break-even time as well. So that's one of the value lah. I would share that if you want to go for solar, definitely tax allowance will help you with that. All right. I think that's all lah. I think maybe something I'll share differently. Yeah, for this round. All right. Back to you, Ian or Casey.
All right. So once again, thank you so much, Wang, for your elaborated presentation. I guess, Wang, we are going to spend a lot more time here because it seems that we are flooded with questions by our audience. So guys, this is actually a good time for you to post your questions. We have already received quite a fair bit, and I think it's actually very interesting because you guys are asking questions which are more relevant to your personal situation. So just feel free to post your questions, and of course, just a tip, guys, because since there are many questions, so if you happen to find any questions that are already being posted in the Q&A box, you just need to put a thumbs up lah, so that at least I know which of the questions which is actually more resonating to the audience, and then I will ask that on behalf of you guys, okay? So you don't need to repost the question. Okay, so one of those thumbs up question will be asked by Clement Bui. So Clement Bui would like to know if my monthly bill is around $130, 130 ringgit a month. Is it worth to install solar panel? And based on what criteria is suitable to install the solar panel, considering ROI?
Okay, noted on that. If your residential bill is around 130 ringgit per month, right? Normally we wouldn't advise clients. Solar is still installable, but it may not help you to save because the more expensive tariff that in charge, then you will see your break even of the system faster. So from investment perspective is, normally we advise clients to go somewhere around 200 ringgits or above
Mhm.
to go for solar for your residential property. But
Mm.
technically, anything below, you still can do it. Just that maybe your break even that we help you to project might be slower because with a lower consumption, maybe government are giving slightly more incentive or allowance or special discount on your electricity as well. So technically, yes, can do. Money wise, maybe not needed yet. You just pay to PNB as usual,
Yep.
or maybe yeah, that's our advice.
Unless you are Incredible Hulk lah, super green, right? And then
Yes.
different stories. You just want to have clean
I just
energy,
want to
then
go
it's
green.
okay. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. So I guess like 200 ringgit per month TNB bill is about like a few aircons, and then if definitely you have an EV, definitely you will burst the 200 ringgit per
Yes,
month.
sure,
Yeah.
but sorry.
Mm.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay, so with that, we move on to the next question. This one is by Muhammad Imran and as well as from Jayan Vasudevan. So they are asking installation of solar panel. Is it possible for apartments, condos, high rises?
Okay.
Have you done that before?
To be honest, we never done any high-rise project at the moment yet. The
Mhm.
highest property that we ever install at the moment, I would say it's gonna be a mall. And also we install for a clubhouse, if you're talking, because when we talk about for condo units, right? Either you for individual units, residential condo units, it's actually not feasible yet at the moment. Yeah, even though, let's say, even you install panels outside your balcony, it needs to get your management approval. What if all the residents install one panel outside the balcony? It's going to affect the aesthetic quite a lot. And the main concern is safety, I would say.
Mm.
So for individual units, it may not be feasible at the moment, but for management wise, it can be done. It can be looked into it, but the chance may not be high due to high rise is heavily shaded, and that one really depends on the condominium design. Yeah, to be honest, we rejected a lot of condominiums management requests or inquiry. Not that we don't want to do their business, but we believe that we can sell, we can design for you, we can install, but eventually you may not able to harvest the saving that we project lah. Yeah, so
Mm.
that's the might be a challenge or opportunity for condo unit.
Mm. Okay lah. So to that, right, I will just add on to apartments, because so one will come from the Verdant Solar side, so I will come from the management side because it's
Yeah, the
because
condos management. Yeah. Mm.
yes. So what I can say is that if you want to speed things up and if you want to really get a good chance of installing the solar panel,
Mm,
you need the management and you need to have a united board lah. First, you
mm,
need to have a united board. If let's say the united board happens, then the chances are higher. If the board is actually not united, then the chances are actually lower. So that is actually the problem here is that the first hurdle is that the people is actually the biggest and the first hurdle that you need to actually overcome, which can be very difficult.
Correct. You need to
Very
vote
difficult.
for an agreement unanimously.
Yes.
Mm. So once you got a Unity board, then only you move on to the next round. All right. What is the next round? The next round is because solar panel, if you want to install for the entire condo, it's not to say cannot. It can be done. But this one, the project amount, so it can go up to six figures.
Yes.
Mm.
Then The next question will be, does the management condo have the funds to do this?
Mm.
Does because you think about it, it's a six-figure project. The management, even the chairman, like me, I'm
Mm.
I'm the chairman.
Mm.
I can't actually like just stamp
Just
sign and
veto, right? You cannot.
I I can't just say, hey, I know Wang, and then I just like sign the contract. Hey, Wang, 过来, come here. I just sign and give Wang the business. Cannot.
Yeah.
We have to go through EGM.
Mm.
And then that's when you need to get the voting done, no?
Mm.
And once you get the voting done, then only we can see whether one want to do the business or not. So it's a lot of hurdle lah. So I guess for the time being, if you want to get this done, you need to invest a lot of emotional and time energy just to get it done lah. So if you happen to buy a condo and you want a solar panel installed, you have to fix the people problem first before the PV system can go up lah.
And by the way, if
Right.
it is all like successful, that means the solar panel is going to save energy for the building's use, lah, mainly
Right.
for the common area only, lah, right? It's not like benefiting each one, but at least
Individual.
you save on, probably in the long term, you could save on your management fee, probably.
Correct.
You can bring it down quite substantially lah, because even I'm okay, for me it's like I'm running a low dense condo,
Mm.
very low dense condo, and I'm spending around 6,000-7,000 ringgit. Six,
A
seven
month.
thousand ringgit in TNB.
TNB. Mm.
So imagine you have a bigger, medium-sized condominium unit, so I guess your TNB bill will run to every year about 100 plus thousand every
Six
single
Mm.
year.
figures. Six
Mm.
figures
So
as well.
maybe from there you can save lah. That would be helpful, but with the expense of the sinking fund
Yeah.
Mm.
then there will be a lot of opinions How should the sinking fund be used? Then that is a lot of convincing So for those of you who just want to mind your own business, then forget it lah. That's coming from experience Not to say not possible, but a lot of work needed
Mm.
to a lot of work to be done
Yep.
Then that's my take from my end
Right.
Next question, Gavin Tai. Sabah Electric, do they have a different policy? Any
Uh,
thoughts about that, Wang?
as what we are aware at the moment, Sabah Electrics don't have like similar NEM at the moment yet. Yeah, but for Sarawak actually just announced last month, mid to end of last month, that there will be NEM as well for Sarawakian. But for Sabahan, yeah, at the moment, I think there might be a policy, should be a policy as well, because it's kind of becoming a trend
I
for
see.
the whole Malaysia collectively.
So at the
But
moment, people can still enjoy the sunlight at the beach, lah, not at their roof.
correct, correct.
In Sabah, sorry, lah.
Okay, next question by Vin Low. So Vin Low says, currently I'm using NEM 1.0 or 2.0 plan. Can I migrate to NEM 3.0? And how does it work if migration is possible?
Okay, for the migrations from NEM 1.0 to 3.0s, actually it's no longer allowed. The reason is 3.0s, the application, when we talk about the migration, it's kind of like change the policy, right? So it's actually not allowed for the NEM policy. First is the policy has been closed. It means that for NEM 3.0, technically whoever got it, who applied for it, at the moment you cannot change, and then you cannot up or downgrade your capacity as well at the moment. Yeah, so talking about changing from 1.0 to 3.0s is not allowed at the moment yet. At the
So that
moment,
means
yeah,
once the contract with TNB is signed, then it is what it is.
correct.
For the length of
Unless
it, right? Normally
correct,
20, 30 years, isn't it?
correct. Owner can only do one thing. You can only either you give up your policy or not. That's all. It means that kind of like surrender because if you now you have NEM 1.0,
Mm.
what if you surrender your 1.0? there's no longer any 2.0 or 3.0 for you to subscribe. So it's kind of like you ended up with nothing. So I would suggest that maybe you hold on to 1.0 and let's see if ATAP is applicable and allow for application. Then you can adopt or apply for that lah. What if because it's just a if questions. We're not sure about the new clauses for the new policy ATAP yet. So maybe
And
that just hold on to it yet at the moment.
and based on the history, it's actually the feed is the best, right? Feed when you actually sell to TMB at a higher rate, but the use at the tier rate, right? You use the first few
Correct.
kilowatt
Correct.
is
Yeah.
much cheaper. Okay.
Because in the early years or when the fit is there, the
Mm.
early adopters, they may even got some offer from a contracted value from TMB that TMB will buy back at almost near to 2 ringgit, or some
Oh.
even earliest adopters surpass 2 ringgit per kilowatt hour. So but that time the capex is super high as well, much higher.
Because last time the solar panels also expensive, right?
Not so popular. Yes, more
Mm.
expensive.
Okay.
Mm. Next
And you don't
question
have
from.
Wang to consult you on that time.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So there's this guy who is interested, seems to be interested to install solar panel. So I'm gonna read out his question. CS Wong, I'm interested to install solar panel at my home. However, since NEM 3.0 has ended, shall I wait until budget 2026 to be announced first before I install? And if there's any new policy announced, so do I need to wait until the new policy is announced before I consider installing solar panel? Do you think the new policy, if it's announced, will be better than the previous policy? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, CS Wong, for that. Okay, maybe I'll share in two perspectives. First, as a Roden Solar member, definitely I will encourage to adopt as soon as possible, or at least you can, because during share a tips when the policy is not clear yet or not yet confirmed yet with the clauses. Normally, as a solar provider, we will give out extra perks, like we call early birds. So
Mm,
you can consider about that if without a very clear clauses from the government yet, and then you believe, for us, we truly believe that the ATAP gonna be there for residential consumer. So, but how's the clauses gonna be in details? We are not sure yet, no announcement yet. But from consumer perspective, I would definitely suggest you to consider that you can confirm the offer. Of course, you need to ask very clearly. So if I confirm with a like deposit 10%, 1,000 ringgit, 500 ringgit. So, what if the policy didn't works? Will my deposit be forfeited or something? Because I believe that most solar providers, like even for Verdant Solar, we do provide some additional perks for consumers who are willing to be the early ones to adopt or to at least to confirm the project. So from consumer perspective, you can consider to confirm the project earlier, but do clarify any of the T&C lah. Yeah, the deposit, whether the forfeit or will there be any hidden costs, and what's the additional discounts or benefits are. Yeah. So, but from just looking at policy wise, it falls back to your consumption pattern. If as a residential property owner, most of your consumptions happens during the day, then even without the policies, your break even, your investment will definitely make sense. But if we as a normal workforce or normal people that we normally at day we hardly spend time during the weekday, then maybe your savings wouldn't be feasible. That you will need to ask your solar provider or ask Verdant Solar for us to quote you with batteries. And then higher capex for batteries, definitely break even will be longer as well. So from there, you need to decide from your finance perspective, because if really the policy come out that the government allowed some feedback or export or selling back of the surplus to TMB, it will
Mm.
make your capex and your investment different in your break-even period as well. So definitely, yeah, that's my advice. You can subscribe earlier, but with a confirmation of that, because the confirmation of the clause, the policy, I think it will be somewhere end of November or early of December lah. Yeah, you can check out for that. Yeah.
So one, correct me if I'm wrong. So that means like as a consumer, now I can actually go and access and see whether I can have saving installing the solar panel just for own use, right? Just a self go, like you say.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if it is the ROI is more than 10%, I will go for it, right?
Yes.
So I'll just install because for own use already I already have a return of more than 10%, then I'll
Yes.
definitely do it. And then
Yes.
when I do it, whether the atap come out, is it favorable or not, I can
Mm.
still choose to take it up, right?
Yes.
Because since I already have it installed, now
Correct.
when it comes up, I can just like confirm whether I want to take that package or not. But if not,
Mm.
then I will just self-use also okay, right? So
Correct.
I guess that's the simplistic way of your advice.
Correct.
Mm.
And then you're also so honest. You say that okay, because people are waiting for the atap to come out. Then of course you want to close case. You are in business, right? So you actually entice customer to do that. Okay, so guys can shop around. So I guess during this time, some of the suppliers will be they cannot like no don't close any case for these few months. Wait until atap, man, right? So they'll definitely do something, right, to win over your business. So
Correct.
Mm.
take the opportunity of that, right?
Correct. Thanks for that, Casey.
All right.
Okay, awesome.
Next question, Deep Kumar. Okay, Deep Kumar has a question. So he say, my client's TMB bills have dropped 10 to 20% after the tariff adjustment. How does this affect the payback period of solar PV systems? The lower bill is
Okay.
contributed by expanded hours of TOU compared to the older tariff.
Mm.
Deep Kumar.
Definitely, because when the value of the tariff drops, right, with the AFA, lower AFA, and then the net, I would say the net TNB price that we pay to TNB drops, it means that the saving value that we're supposed to adopt the solar solutions also drop in value. So when the value drop, but the initial capex for solar remains the same, literally it means that our break-even time will be longer. So that's just based on that few months of drop the reviews. Of course, if you ask us, we truly believe that for forex and fossil fuel costs, it fluctuates throughout the years. It means that different quarters you may see different electricity bill. So for
Mm.
months where the net bills are lower, the payback periods will be presumed to be longer. So for months where if the AFA increase or the forex is higher, and then the break-even time will be shorter as well. So whatever we projected to our client on the break-even side will be based on the average. So that's the part that Pete is asking. Yeah.
Okay, with that, we move on to the next question. Ku Cheng Jin. He asks, AFA is like fuel surcharge. For example, if fuel and gas price increase, what is the percentage of what's the percentage comma follow fuel price index? Okay, any thoughts about this comment on
Okay.
AFA?
I think maybe this guest is asking if AFA is able to enable TNB to charge me more or
Mm.
provide me more discounts, right? Maybe you're asking
Mm.
like how far it will go. I think that's what
Yeah, maybe I think this is a good time to show the where we can find the AFA for the next
okay.
month, right? Okay.
Give me a moment, yeah.
So I guess his understanding is correct, right? Because TMB they spend on this thing, right? And then it's affected by forex, affected by fuel price, the natural gas price, the coal price. So then they pass this to the consumer, right? Whether it's more expensive, they're going to charge you more expensive. If they save on that, they actually pass the saving back to you. So that's how the AFA works. And good for us is that we can know it in advance, right? You mean 1 month in advance? Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Sure. A
But
moment.
for retail, I mean like for residential houses, I I don't know how much we can do about it. Are you going to like turn on less of your aircon when it is more expensive? uh,
I think if you ask I mean,
Yeah,
if for me, I ask my
yeah,
wife, hey, you know what? Next month AFA gonna increase. You need to
yeah.
use less aircon. I think first thing my wife will scold me.
So what can you do? Like normally we probably couldn't do much, but like, for the industrial player, they can, right? They can say, okay, we do OT this month because it's
Correct.
AFA got discount.
Correct.
Then so that next month we do less OT, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
so
That's
I
exactly.
guess
So,
yeah, you find it,
do you
right?
want me to share the link in? I already shared
Yes,
a
yes.
screen.
Yes,
Whether you
please.
guys can see the screen, let me share the link in the group as
So
well.
basically you just Google AFA, right? AFA TMB.
Ah,
I think you'll get to this page.
correct. So from time to time, oh yeah, I think I just
Anime, I'll help you
okay.
paste it. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you, Casey.
Yeah, we got the link.
No.
So
So basically at TMB, right? So you
Mm.
can know already because now is actually by end of September, the October rates already came up. So from there you know already.
Ooh.
1st to 31st of October is negative 6.5 cents per kilowatt. The kWj means kilowatt jam lah, is in Malay,
Mm.
which is our kilowatt hour. So you roughly know. And then
Three
there's
three
a
months in advance.
yeah extension. There's an extension on the Unjora lah. It's not confirmed, but
Oh,
very high chance they will charge around that period of range of price. But of
I
course,
see.
if because the world market, the international markets of fossil fuels, we can't control. Sometimes, a war happens, or maybe some leaders of certain countries make some different announcement, it will really
Mm.
shoot up or reduce the cost fluctuation a lot. So this is
Like
where business owners or you can look out for.
like for example, here we can see that January you will have less discount, right? So
mm,
the bill in January supposed to be higher lah if you're using the
I
same usage, right?
correct. The
So
January bill will be same as September, but if you compare to December, then January will be more expensive.
Uh, so in
mm,
that case, like, well, let's say you have an EV, then you make sure you fully charge it 31st of December, lah, right? Maybe that's the thing you can do only lah. Other than that, I don't think it's
Yeah,
much.
correct. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
But at least this is some saving that you can actually, just work on it,
correct.
right? Easily.
Yeah.
mm,
Mm.
It won't be like a super huge significant saving,
Mm.
but it's something that because there's a capping, I can't recall. I think 10 cents or how many cents per kilowatt hour. There's a max capping on the AFA. It means if TMB
Um,
charge additional AFA or they provide discount through AFA, there's a maximum range. If not
mm.
mistaken, 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Anything above that, TMB will need to raise as an agenda in the cabinet's discussion to gain
Oh,
approval.
I
Yeah,
see.
it can be higher than that if any special scenarios or incidents happen worldwide.
mm.
Okay,
Mm.
nice.
Okay. Firepower questions. This one by Clement Bui.
Okay.
Maintenance required. How frequent does it need to be done? And what's the cost of maintenance?
Okay. So for I'll answer in the both residential and commercial industrial perspective. So for residential wise, normally we will advise around anniversary of second to third years, you carry one maintenance. For commercial and industrial, uh, it will based on the area that your commercial or industrial properties are situated. Some of the property very obvious is a heavy industrial area. So at that areas, normally we advise at a frequency of once per year. Yeah. If it's not heavy industry, it's like a commercial lots, not a lot of, it's not very dusty, then maybe once every 2 years. It's actually for home, residential property and commercial industrial properties, they are quite similar. So falls back to the dust level of your area. So it means that after install for first year, maybe you can ask us to go back and check it out with your consultant. Hey, can you come back to maybe fly drone and help me have a look at my panels at least for once for the first time. So I know, on the first year, my panels are not very dirty, or you can monitor your performance through your monitoring app. From there, you will know that your performance, if it's super dusty, need cleaning and maintenance checking, then maybe you will need to carry out the maintenance. Yeah. So
Mm,
that's more on the dust level or I would say the dirt level of the panels. Others will be
Mm.
on checking, not inclusive of other preventive or corrective maintenance, like checking for the connections of the wiring. So normally the setting will be quite, I would say, more quite inert or quite stable. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Clement Bui again, warranty period and how long will a solar panel last?
Solar panels basically were designed to last more than 25 years or more than 30 years. Even
Mm.
up to today, panels come with we call a linear peak performance warranty. It means performance drops every year. Yeah, so at least on the panels nowadays come with this 30 years linear peak performance, or we call performance warranty lah. It means at least on the 30th year, the performance expected to have at least 87%, 87.
Mm.
So on the 31st year, hey, Wang, should I throw away my panels? No. If you want to incur new capex, yes, you can change a new sets of panels, but if not, you still can consider continuous use it because the efficiency is still there.
Mm. Okay. Oh, Elaine Lai. So just now we answered a question on what's the, like, if the TNB bill is every month 130, then no need lah, no need
No
to
need.
consider too much lah. But what is the minimum before we can start considering installing solar PV systems on our rooftops?
Financially, for residential tariff, around 200 lah. That would be kind of like of course, if I'm 180, then you can consider as well. It's not like a very rigid thing, sir.
Borderline, but you can definitely get a
Correct.
consultation. Consultation is free, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Free.
okay.
Same,
Just
still
want to
free.
make sure. So just want to make sure it's free. Okay, okay. That means you can
Yeah.
talk to a person from Wodan Solar or any other solar provider. Then
Correct.
they can project for you, right? They will look at your TNB bill. And then they will say, okay, how much you need to spend to install that, and then how much saving you are potentially going to get. So you look at the numbers, and if you don't understand numbers, send it to us. I will look for you. I will go through it for you. I will
Yeah.
calculate it for you as well. Do you need to pay
Uh,
me?
A
uh,
cup of coffee.
Also no lah, also no lah. But you send in 100, then I cannot reply everyone. Okay.
uh,
No charges also. We'll look through it. We will probably do a case study as well when you have this. Yeah. And then you know that Wang is not taking you on a spin, right? Okay. So at least we make sure the proposal you get from Wang is really worth it before you
Yeah.
really install that one.
yeah, but I guess they are now going towards IPO lah and all this kind of stuff lah. So I guess they won't take you for a spin lah. But I guess you will
They
get
they are
honest
definitely doing the
valuation.
right thing, lah, right? If not,
Ah,
they will not have so many customers, right? 7,000 of them, right?
mm,
So there are many happy customers. So definitely they are doing the going through the right path, right? And then if you don't, if your house is not suitable for installation, I don't think they will propose you any.
mm,
Mm,
mm.
mm.
True, true, true. Okay, a few more questions. So, Ku Chen Jin asked, who are your competitors? Let me answer that for you lah. So, Verdant Solar is going on IPO listing. If you want to find out their competitors, it's very easy. Just go and check out their IPO prospectus, and then from there, go to section number 8 because they will have to put in the industry report. From there, you get a good list of competitors lah. All right. So from there, you check it out lah. So just go to Bursa Malaysia website and then download the IPO prospectus, and then you get it from there lah. All
Well, then
right.
Solar tell you lah all the competitors. So it's a public
Uh,
information. You can go search for it. A long list of it lah. Hmm.
long list lah. So
Yeah.
definitely they are not the only one,
But they
but
put it up there just to show that they are still number one in residential provider. So that's one of their purpose as well. Hey,
3 years.
hey, Wang, I suddenly thought of an idea. So you definitely have proposal going out every day, right? I think hundreds of them, right? So
Mhm.
can you send us one copy? Like with the bill and everything, but once you can block out all the sensitive information, and we are
Okay.
we are planning to like maybe do a case study on that, and like showing the consumer how to actually go through this number because
Mm.
everything the numbers one calculated for you, is it true or not? Are they taking you for a spin? Okay, we will probably do a webinar to show you how to
Can,
verify is it correct or
can,
not, right? Thanks,
definitely
Awang.
we
Thanks.
can arrange for that.
Actually, just to review, actually, I'm thinking, because when Wang is presenting, right, his slides and all this,
Uh,
I'm actually quite surprised to see my relative's face lah, as one of the customer there lah. But so it's like, okay. Oh, so he also installed with
Oh, I see.
oh, so I'm like, oh, like that lah. Uh,
Okay, you
won't
got
reveal.
referral fees, huh?
No, no, but I remember a conversation like I said, hey, you
Uh,
got installed solar panel. At the time he wasn't into that lah. Then years later, oh, he installed already. Then
I
today I go
see.
like
Converted become incredible Hulk. Okay.
converted already. So yeah lor, good to know that lah. Good to know that. Okay lah. Let's get back into track and
Okay, sure.
let's move on to the next question. GE Ng. GE Ng would like to know if customers opted for TOU, can they revert back to the normal tariff? Should there be no cost savings? If so, are there any penalties?
No, there won't be any charges imposed. You can straight away subscribe. You can
Mm.
unsubscribe anytime. Yeah. Rest assured, rest assured. Yeah.
But
For
technically should have saving, right? Because the majority of the time is non-peak. Two-thirds of it is non-peak. So unless you only you only use the electricity from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., then it will be different story, I guess.
yeah,
Okay.
correct. Technical because if for weekends and public holidays, right, they are considered as off peak as well.
Oh
Because
yeah.
most of the factories will be shutting down,
So there'll be
having rest days.
more than two-thirds in that
More than
case.
two-third. Yeah,
Oh.
Casey. More than two-third. So
Mm,
technically should have more
mm,
lah. Should more
mm,
savings.
okay, okay. Thanks for clarification. Next question.
Viraj would like to know about self-sufficiency via battery usage and if it's recommended.
Mm.
Mhm. I don't get it. Yeah.
The
Can you read me again?
So whether the capex for the battery is it recommended?
yeah.
Because you can opt whether you want to install a battery or not, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
So it falls back to your we will call it a consumption pattern. It
Mm.
means that if I have a significant amount of surplus or solar due to my consumption pattern for residential properties or residential consumer, normally we strongly advise you must have a batteries. Let's say lah, if ATAP, even ATAP allow you to offset or sell back the surplus to them, and then TNB buy back at a we call a single the SMP that the rate will be lower than the rate that you pay to TNB. So you can always see the projections. Like if TNB buy back from me at 19, 18, 20 cents or plus minus. So if I go for batteries, how much my saving will be like? Normally we judge this or assess this based on your consumption pattern. We will put in a percentage of solar energy that you use directly or we call self-consume, and then another percentage we'll put into battery. We assume that, let's say for this house, out of the 100% for solar consumption or solar generation, let's say 30% was directly consumed. It's quite common for residential property. Around 30-40% will be self-consumed. That 60 to 70% will be the surplus. So you
Mm.
can compare. What if I sell everything back to TNB? What's the rate? What if I invest on battery and then I store in batteries and then I use back maybe when I back home? So you can see the difference. So from our perspective is based on your consumption pattern. The more percentage of extra or surplus you have from the solar generation, batteries will help to bring your break even period lower. So for example, I take an example. If my self-consumption percentage is, let's say, 80%, I only have a 15 to 20% of surplus from solar. Maybe you can consider forfeiting the batteries, because comparing the wastage and the additional saving from the battery,
Mm.
it's actually I just let the non-utilized solar energy, go to waste. It will be even worth more than investing more on
On
batteries just
battery.
for the additional. Yeah. So that's the consideration.
And anyway, the battery you will advise people to install, right? Like for a common household, you you are not like consuming when you have sunlight because you consume it when you have no sunlight, right?
Yes.
So if no
For
battery, then
residential,
when
yes.
you go home, then basically your solar had no use.
Not working.
So not working. So it's
Yes.
not for even for own consumption. So at least you have to
Correct.
install a battery. But the battery, whether you want to install more capacity or not, then that's the
Yes.
question, right? Okay.
Yes. For
Mm.
residential, it's kind of like the battery is a must
It's a
at the
must.
moment. Yeah, it's a must. It will definitely be a recommended
Mm.
design.
It's just whether you want to install ngam for your own use or you want to install bigger battery so that
Correct.
if you have extra, you can sell it back. Okay.
Correct. Maybe I can
Mm.
share one more explanation because
Yep.
there's a lot of different situations. For
Yep.
one, we do have one client.
Mm.
It's a semi-D. So
Mm.
semi-D is actually the son asks us to code for them. And
Mm.
then their parents actually stay, both in-laws and I mean both the husband and wife parents stay together
Mm.
in that semi-D. It's quite huge.
Okay.
So theoretically during the day, right, they on aircon as usual as well because
Oh.
parents are in. So if when we look back at their consumption, they even can go without batteries for their residential property because consumptions like heavy consumption happens during the day as well. So it depends on scenario as well lah.
Yeah. So that one you don't invest on battery, you don't install any battery, you will still have saving in that case.
Still see the savings, still see
Yeah.
the
Mm.
significant save. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Mm.
Case by case.
Like case, ah.
Mm.
Okay, next one. Paul Zhong. Paul would like to know, can I expect any new installation to be using 620 panels only and nothing lesser? Anything less is clearing old stock. Is 615 same as 620? Wow, very technical, this question.
Technical, this one. Only
Okay.
one knows.
Wang.
Okay. Paul, for 620 panel, I wouldn't say that 615 will be an old panel compared to 620. It depends on the model of panels that you're getting from your installer, or is it from Verdun? I'm not sure about that. So there will be a trending panels model that we have keep stock from time to time. At the moment, up to today, the current quarters, I wouldn't say that 615, 610, or even 600 they are old or phase out panels. If you look at the efficiencies, right, it's actually still within the same similar range with the 620 panels. If you just compare within the same brand, same series of panels, both are actually quite equivalent in efficiency. The difference is 0 point something percent or even 0.0 something percent. Yeah, so I would definitely say that 610, 605, 600 or 620s you wouldn't call it as a face up panel for the overpower. Yeah, because they are still within, normally for this range of panel with this power are still within the same series. Yeah,
Mm.
rest assured about that. Yeah, this is the main market trend in Malaysia at the
What's
moment.
the 615, 620? Is that the model or the
The
panel?
power of the panels.
The
Yeah,
power of the panel. Okay.
correct. Yeah. Ken, I hope it helps, Paul. Don't worry about if your service provider or installers are giving you 615, 610, or 600s, as long as the final kilowatt peaks that, sum it out, match what's your expectation, you very high chance you'll still get the saving that you're being shared with. Yeah, it won't be like, I'm using 600 watt peak panels. Okay, let's say total I get a 12 kilowatt peak, and then I get a 12 kilowatt peak with 620 panels. I'm quite confident that 100% the saving that you get from 600 watt peak panels and 620 watt peak panels, the difference negligible, like very, very
Mm.
negligible. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. So, this one I think related to commercial one. HC Yong, he's asking what's the difference between medium and low voltage? Is it in terms of kilowatt?
Okay. Yong, if you're asking just the design of electricity supply in Malaysia, so the difference in low voltage and medium voltage is definitely as literally it sounds, the difference on the voltage itself. So for in
Mm.
Malaysia, low voltage, basically we have single phase and three
Mm.
phase. So three phase, we would call it the 400 V, 400 voltage. And then
Mm.
single phase, we call it the around 230 V. And then anything above that, medium voltage, normally for medium voltage is around 6.6 kV, 6.6 kilowatt. kilovolt up to around 66 kilowatt. But very commonly for commercial in Malaysia, the range can be around 11 kV to 33 kV. It is more technical, so I'm not sure whether is this something they expected from that, Yong. But basically the difference is the voltage. Or if you look at electricity, is quite similar to water. So it means that the water that you get, the water pressure is higher.
How much
Where
pressure is it? Okay.
something like that. That one is more like a layman term
Yeah.
or description to help you to familiarize. Yeah. If you want to
Mm.
know more about specifically for your own factories or for your company or for your employer, maybe you text me or email me. Maybe I can help you to at least assess or analyze as well. Mm.
Okay, final two questions. First one by Richie. Richie would like to know, for NEM 2.0, how long is the contract? And if the contract lapse, what happened?
Okay, which is a very good and one of the very common questions that consumer for us. Generally, NEM 2.0, the contract is 10 years. It means that within these 10 years, the the offset, or you can say the buyback from TMB will happen. We as a consumer who holding this NEM 2.0 contract, we can export or sell back the electricity, surplus solar electricity back to TMB, and TMB will offset the value accordingly to the contract for 10 years. So after 10 years, what does it mean? So, okay, I share two stories, two perspectives. First is legally on the contracts is mentioned by default, it will go into self consumption. What it means by self-co, it means that TMB wouldn't buy back whatever you have in surplus. So you need to consume on your own. And over the first 10 years, if you observe that how many percent normally out of your solar that you have normally having as a surplus during the day that you need to store, you may need to prepare for your battery. So after 10 years, that's what may happen on the paper on legally.
Just install a battery.
Correct. You may need to install batteries,
Mm.
or maybe after 10 years, your family grew in size already. Or
Mm.
you bring or you move to another house, or you bring in more members to consume more electricity.
Mm.
So eventually maybe you don't need battery as well. But it falls back to your family planning everything as well.
Okay.
So that is by right legally. And then if government have new policy after your 10 years of NEM 2.0 ended, if the new policy allows you to, apply for it, you can apply for it as well. But it will depends because 10 years many things can happen. So it depends on what's happening that time. If there's a new policy and it's mentioned NEM 2.0 beneficiary are allowed to apply, then you still can apply for it.
Okay.
Mm. Okay, so okay lah. One final question by Wilson. Wilson would like to know, what if we install with other company and initially sold for the Solaris rebate, but the vendor delivered them late and we are excluded for the rebate, but registered for NEM. So what can we do as consumer? Do we go to SEDA or do we go for tribunal?
Okay, you are trying to say that Solaris is one of the rebate, maybe for other audience to also understand. Solaris is a form of rebates that TNB was giving out. It means that once you install solar, you get the NEM quota from SEDA. Upon installation done, when TNB because after installation done, you need to inform or update to TNB. So by then, TNB will provide the discount back to the consumer. So if the solar providers, I'm not sure whether it's through Verdant or it's by either other solar provider. If for either of us, I think it's definitely will be similar because the Solaris things, it couldn't be, tracked back. Whatever TNB is giving out as a Solaris rebate, it might already ended. The opening is not open already. So you really need to look back the communication that you have with your solar provider, whether it was like given, to be honest, for certain installer, like even for us, for certain period of time, we even guarantee our consumer, you know what? Because Solaris is on the rush, we even give out like a guarantee Solaris rebate that even though, let's say, you are out of the period of time that you completed installation, whether we'll give out a form of rebate to you as a, like a complimentary for service. So maybe you need to check at the communication with your provider, whether it's a guarantee thing or actually it's an organic thing. If it's an organic agreement, then if your installation already out of the opening of stories, then to be sorry to say that unfortunately you are not no longer entitled for that lah. Yeah, then I mean, if the things go worse and maybe you want to escalate, sadly to say that maybe tribunal might be the only way, but definitely strongly encourage you to have a communication or discuss with the solar provider lah. Yeah.
Okay, so Wang, thank you so much for your time, and we are going into the 90th minute of this webinar session. Perhaps you can actually show your screen again as to how people can actually get in touch with Burden or yourself,
Mhm.
right? So
Okay.
if let's say they want to consult more, then where do they go?
All right. Okay. So on the right-hand side of the slide, you guys can see my contact. You can either email me or there's a phone number of mine as well, or you can call a general line as well for the inquiry as well. Basically, we have offices at HQ Aradamansara, at the central. Johor, we have a office as well, Penang as well, and then there will be upcoming offices in Melaka, Melaka, Ipoh, and Kuantan as well. Yeah, so anything, feel free to drop me a text or email. Yeah, we will try our best to serve you lah.
So just mention that you come from KC Lau's audience,
Yes.
then you will get
You
even more
entitled for.
special, more special
Oh,
treatment
got
from.
special. Okay. No, at least you can make sure that Wang's team is going to not going to bluff you lah. Okay, we'll help you look through the proposal. If you have
Yes.
any doubt about that. Okay.
Mm. Okay lah. So I guess it's a fun discussion about solar PV installation. I guess we have learned a lot from this from the latest updates of this industry, and of course, more importantly, is for you guys to actually consider whether or not this thing is actually worth it for you. But if you are still on the fence, I guess what you can do is that you can just contact Wang lah and his team. I'm very sure that he will give you a very professional evaluation on whether or not solar panel systems for your homes, for your factories, for your commercial lots, as long as you have a roof, they will give you the best evaluation lah. And from there, you can consider whether you want to install or not.
Thanks,
All
Ian.
right.
Thanks
So,
again, Ian and Casey as well for having me here.
but of course, we are going to see Wang again because we are going to repeat the whole thing in Chinese, right? So that will be next week. So we are going to talk about this. We are going to talk about the same subject. But here's a tip, guys. If you happen to be a Mandarin speaker, which is of course today you have digest all the things. You can actually take 1 week to think about it, and you can always come back to the session to actually ask a more specific question to Wang because Wang will be here next week. All right. So we'll stay tuned for that. And yep, that's about it. Any last words from Casey's side and from Wang's side when it comes to solar PV installation? Yeah. Okay lah, Wang first.
Sure. I think this is definitely one of the tagline when I'm talking about PV. I mean, we heard like, different consumers complaining about, rising tariff. I'm not happy with removal of subsidies. Now even my 95 petrols, I need to pump according to my Bully 95 quota. So to me, sometimes we can't really control about what inflations or what the environment can, bring to us. So if you see that there's a rising challenge on, like, for example, the rising electricity tariff, yeah, strongly encourage all of us to, instead of, just looking at the problem itself, look for solutions, consider about the solutions and, analyze from different perspective financial as well lah. Yeah, so let's look for solutions instead of just looking and focusing on the problems. Yep, that will be my maybe final words. How about you, Casey?
Thank you, Wang, for the sharing, and And guys, energy is something we consume every day, so it's like a necessity for the modern human being, lah, right? Okay. So, and then you compare like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I don't think my grandma is paying 1,000 ringgit DNB bill, lah. Okay. I don't think they pay that, lah. Okay. They probably earn 1,000 ringgit a month as a household, lah. Everybody go and work and earn 1,000 ringgit only. So the only way, the electricity bill is going to go up, lah. So, but it's actually good news, right? Government is doing something with the TOU that we can actually save some money on bill, at least temporary in the short term. You guys can see some lowering of your bill. So, and thanks Awang for taking that up and telling us about that and how we can do that. So we look forward to see you all next week. Wang is going to be back for the Chinese session, and actually next week nighttime we also have John Hua is going to come back to talk about stock research as well. So we hope to see you on those two webinars next week, same time, 10 o'clock, and then the other one is 8:30. So to follow us, just go to my website, kclau.com, or you can follow us on Telegram channel, Facebook, and where else? Email mainly. Email, people will get the first-hand information. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.